Greetings and welcome back to the channel. I had a kind of a flurry of ideas for videos yesterday and I jotted them down and this is the first one I wanted to talk about because I know this isn't going to apply to every single person watching this, but even for those of us who have totally healed, which I don't think, you know, I don't know the percentage, but there are people who never totally heal. There's a lot of variables. But if you have healed, this is still going to be useful, I think, for you. But especially if you have not, you might want to listen to this one. So I'm going to talk about 5 reasons, and you're going to want to listen to the fifth one because I do think it's the biggest one. And then I got a bonus actually that I decided last minute to throw on here. But I could talk about the path to healing or why it's not working for you or why it's going really slowly. And I could just sum it up by saying uh, you haven't gone to God powerfully in the right way, or maybe you have, and it just hasn't, you haven't done it long enough yet. It's not, time has not passed. But I want to talk about 5 other reasons that why the healing is so slow. Why is it taking so long? Because we wonder this, right? I know I hear comments from you. I've gotten emails and I've talked to people in person and they're like, man, I just can't shake this. I'm just hung up on this person. Like, it's been this many months, it's been this many years. Here are some reasons that it might be taking longer than it should. Number one, if you are still in contact in any way, shape, or form with the narcissist, including simply having to see them somehow, yeah, that's going to slow you down. That's going to slow you down a lot. I said on a recent video, it took me about 10 to 12 months of absolutely intense recovery to get back to a place where I was good in my life. And then after that, of course, you get better. But I was slowed down because I still had to see the narcissist in person. And again, I'm not going to explain how that is, but some of you know, some of you I talk to one on one, and you know. But I still had to see them. And let me tell you what, even though I didn't have to really communicate with the narcissist, simply having to be in their proximity in any way, shape, or form is a huge detriment to your healing. I'll bet you that cut my healing process, it added rather double. It probably lengthened it by 2 times at least. So if you're in a situation where you never have to see or never have to talk to or anything else the narcissist, you already have a big leg up on somebody that doesn't. And I think specifically, it's not my situation, but if you had kids with the narcissist and you're trying to somehow parent the kids and share custody and that sort of stuff, that's devastating. Of course, it doesn't mean that you can't get over it. You can, and you will, if you do the right things. But that's going to make it really, really hard, right? It's a lot harder. I was in a situation, like I said, where I still had to see this person to a degree, and that was rough. But if you're willingly, the point is, if you are willingly still allowing that narcissist to contact you, if you're still taking a text message from them, if you're still allowing them to email you or reach out to you on social media or drop a note off or anything of the sort, if you're still allowing that, and I know some of that can't be helped, but if you're still enabling contact in any way at all, it's going to slow you down so much. In fact, if you're intentionally allowing contact, you're not going to heal, period. I'm just going to say it. You cannot heal if you are still somehow wanting this person in your life, allowing them to reach out. You're not going to do it. And that's the sad part, guys. I'm aware that there are people who watch these channels because they want the narcissist to come back. And that's really sad. And I get it at first, I get it for a little while, but once you get to truly understand the depths of the evil of this person, how can you? To think of that person that I was with now, it is disgusting. It's gross. The thought of, I sit and think, why on earth was I ever even attracted to this person? What did I ever even, that's the kind of feeling. But if you are still in contact with them in any way, allowing them to do it, maybe even still wanting them somehow to do it, you're not going to heal. You're just not. Two, this is an interesting one. Expecting the healing to come too quickly. If you are expecting your healing to be so quick or have some kind of set timetable on it or some expectation of when you're going to be good, that can actually derail you a bit. That can slow you down. And you think, well, how? Because that alters your perception, perspective. I don't know which word I wanted to say. Both. It alters your perception of things, it alters your perspective of things, and you're sort of gaslighting yourself. If you sit back and you think to yourself, well, it's been this long and I should be good now, or I know in 3 months, 5 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever, then I'll be good. Some people will tell you it takes this long. That's not true. Anyone who tells you there's an exact timetable on it doesn't know what they're talking about, because there's not a timetable on it. It depends on the severity, who you were dealing with, how long you were dealing with them, what your character and makeup is. It's a lot of variables. But if you have it in your mind that the healing has to come at some timetable, some certain period, that can derail you and it can discourage you too. And then you can start to get in your own head, well, why is it taking so long? Why am I still... So clear that. Clear your mind of the idea of how long it's going to take. Don't think about that. That will help you tremendously. 3, this is really going to surprise you guys. And I know that I have a channel and I don't want anyone to stop watching it, but I'm doing it to help people. I'm not doing it. It's nice when you subscribe. I appreciate it. I'd love the channel to grow because it's helping people. And that's it. So I understand that. With that said, you can actually slow your healing down if you become obsessed with watching videos. This one is really strange I'll try to describe this. I know that for a while, at least for me, you are hooked on the videos. You binge watch them. You have to have them. They're like that thing that gives you that little hit that sort of picks you up and keeps you chugging along at times, right? And I understand that. This is what they're here for. But for some people, and this is only some people, if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't. And you know if it does or not. Some people can slow their healing down by becoming so obsessed with the videos that they continue to watch them, or primarily watch far too many of them. It occupies far too much of their time that it's actually preventing you from moving on. And the reason is simple. These videos, while helpful in many respects, they can, for some people, cause you to linger and cling to the whole concept of the narcissist. I've had people email me who say, I love the videos, they're really helpful, but I'm not watching them as much as I was because I don't want to put myself back in that spot. That's a wise person. And like I said, it's not for everyone. I still watch them sometimes. I've told you there's some channels I still look up at times. But it's not because I'm trying to heal. I'm growing, I'm still learning, I'm still trying to refine my thoughts, and they're just interesting. It's interesting to continue to learn about toxic/demonically attached people so that you don't repeat the mistakes and you know what to look for. But for some people, it becomes kind of an obsession, and they could actually probably move on. They could probably be good, but they're still stuck watching the videos, and that keeps narcissism on the brain. And every time you do watch these videos, you do think about what? Well, the narcissist, of course, the one you dealt with. Because as I sit and describe these things, or others do, every time you're making those connections, oh, that was like them, they did this, and it takes you back to that person over and over and over, doesn't it? So what I'm trying to say is, if you are one of those people that you pinpoint, maybe the videos are slowing my progress down. Test it out. try taking some time away and see if that helps you. Because like I said, guys, I want people to watch these videos, of course, but only if it's helping you. If it's a detriment in some way to your growth and your healing, then don't watch them. Because I care about changed lives and not hits and all this stuff. That doesn't matter. So if you're in that position, ease off. Ease off the videos and see what happens. If you're not, and it's just flat helping you and it's great, keep watching. 4, this is a biggie. And let me tell you what. Let me preface this one. I fought this temptation hugely. You guys know that I loathe and despise dating apps to absolute extremes. I think they're the devil's playground. If you want to go get tortured, if you're looking for it, you go hop on a dating app. You're gonna more than likely meet somebody who'll torture you. Okay? And there's a million other reasons. I'm not gonna rant. My point is, after the narcissist, I was in such a bad place. I considered getting on dating apps so I could just try to move on as quickly as I could and get someone else in my life so that I could forget about the narcissist. Because Lord knows they had other people in their lives instantly, always, of course. The narcissist is never single, but they're always alone. And the narcissist spends this much time between relationships. This much. 0. They monkey branch instantaneously after that relationship ends, whether they end it or you do, because they always have people in place. Best trust and believe it. And I knew she did. And I thought, well, I don't have anyone. And for a brief period of time, I thought, I need to try to get somebody else in my life. I'm so lonely. Which they make you codependent on them and on their attention and validation, or lack of validation, really. And so when that relationship ends, you can find yourself lonelier than you've ever been. And yes, there's a type of loneliness with the narcissist that's the worst, because you're supposed to be in a relationship, yet you feel all alone. Then there's the other, just traditional loneliness, where you had somebody and now you don't have anybody. And as much as I talk about being good on your own, and I am, it's beautiful, but after the relationship ends with a narcissist, you're not good on your own. You want somebody, and it's just, you feel that. Some of you didn't maybe, but a lot do. So here's the fatal flaw. Here's what my point is. Moving on too quickly after one of those relationship ends, absolutely the worst mistake you can make. Probably the worst thing you can do outside of allowing the narcissist to come back. The worst thing you can do is to race off and get into another relationship quickly. And guys, there's a million reasons why. First of all, you're not fit to be with somebody else. You are not fit to be with somebody else. You are not going to be a good person for them if you are still all tore up about the narcissist. That's not fair to someone else. It's not fair. But secondly, you have not healed. You have not introspected. You have not recovered. You have not done all the steps in the process that it takes to get back to a good place that you are fit to be with somebody. If that's what you want to do. When you move on too quickly, all you really did was get somebody else in the mess, and you didn't resolve your feelings about the narcissist. Trust me, simply inserting someone else after the narcissistic entanglement does not heal anything. It doesn't make anything better. Some of you might have raced off, jumped on a dating site, found somebody else, immediately started dating, and I'm going to be willing to bet it probably didn't go very well. And you probably still thought a lot about the narcissist. And that void, that emptiness that you felt wasn't replaced because someone else was in your life. I have experienced that feeling. When you move on too quickly, bad news. You've got to slow down, take your time, take as much time. I've been completely single for 2 years, roughly. Some of you guys for way longer. It might be far longer for me, and that's fine. But I'm saying you need time. I've been single for 2 years, have gone out on a couple dates, but I've been single for 2 years, and I was not fit to be with somebody for probably at least half of that. Half of that time. It took me, like I said, guys, 10 to 12 months to put Humpty Dumpty back together. I wasn't going to be good for anybody, and I wasn't past that person. Moving on too quickly is an ultra appetizing temptation, but it is also the devil's work. You have got to take your time and get to the proper place. And sometimes, kind of like what I've done, you get to that proper place, and then you're kind of like, man, I really don't even want to be with anybody. Like, not to say it couldn't happen, but take your time. That'll slow your healing down massively to just, because that, guys, this is what the narcissist does, right? Last point on that. They move on instantaneously, right? So they never get over anyone. They're not over their first failed relationship because they never took the time. If you race on, you're not really different than them and you didn't heal and introspect. Number 5, I told you this is the biggest one and I saved it for the last because it is. I preach all the time about this one because people just don't get it. I promise you, I think this is the biggest problem that people have with getting over the narcissist. And they just cannot shake this out of their minds. They just can't. They can't. I'm here to tell you for the 1100th time, the narcissist is not doing better now. They have not changed. They are not happy. They are not getting it right. They are not treating somebody well. And this is not a shot to anybody who has said this. Please don't take it that way. But I know a lot of people feel like the person they're with now must be better than me. The person that they're with now is getting better treatment. He or she has changed. They're improved. They've got their life together. It's working. It's working. That is the biggest lie the narcissist tells. Go back and watch my video. The narcissist's mission is to fool the world and themselves. That's a powerful one. Go back and watch it if you're struggling. I promise you guys, with the most solemn promise I can possibly make you, if you were dealing with a narcissist and you know that, they did not go on and improve. I do not care what you think you're seeing. I don't care. And as long as you think the narcissist has improved and is doing better, two things are happening. One is they won. They're at least winning a small battle in your life because they're still in here and they've still convinced you of a giant lie. That's the first thing. The second thing is you are slowing your healing down massively by believing a lie. And that's what it is. It's not the truth. Whoever you're thinking of, whichever this narcissist out there, because they're all carbon copies of the devil, whichever one you have in mind, drop the idea that they are doing better. I promise you, to no end, they are not. Did another video, it's kind of funny, but I did a video about making a cake and how all these traits are baked into the narcissist. And like you add the flour and the sugar and all these parts of a cake, and then you bake it. And then what if you tried to get the ingredients back out of the cake? You can't do it. These nasty traits are baked into these people. The only thing that can change them is a radical spiritual transformation, the likes of which 99% of the time aren't going to happen because that means they have to humble themselves, they have to take accountability, they have to work hard, they have to introspect, they've got to acknowledge something bigger than themselves, submit their lives over to something bigger than themselves, and most of them can't do that. 99 point something percent of them. I'm not going to say it's never happened or that it's impossible. It depends on how far down the spectrum they are. But once someone becomes a reprobate and they get far enough down the road, yeah, it is impossible. They've been given over at that point. Many of them have. As long as you think the narcissist is gone on and they're getting it right and things are better and they're good, and they're treating this person well, and it was just me. Because you know what? That's another thing. You know what it means? It means you believe you were the problem. If you think the narcissist went off to someone else and they upgraded, or they're just treating the person better, or whatever, then you are assuming by default that you were the problem in the relationship. And that too is a lie. The narcissist is the problem. The narcissist is always the problem. In every relationship they ever have that they blow up, they're always the person. And probably in orders of 90 to 100% of the time. And I shouldn't even say it that way. They're always the problem, but they are 90 to 100% of the problem. How much really, realistically, guys, you have healed, you guys who know this, how much were you the problem in the relationship? 1 or 2%, if anything? I can actually stand here before God and tell you the truth. I would say I was 0% responsible for the breakdown of that relationship. I didn't contribute to it in any way, shape, or form at all. I couldn't have done any more for this person. Could not have been any better to them. I know that to a certainty. Most of you were the same way. Yet you think it was your fault. If only you'd done more, you tried harder, you would have done this. If I was prettier, No, it's not true. It doesn't matter who the narcissist has, they're always going to sabotage it. Always, always, always. So this will impede your healing massively to believe that the narcissist is now an improved version. Because you're thinking, well, maybe I want him back. Or what did I do wrong? Or 1,000 other things that I've already mentioned. You are slowing yourself way, way, way down, guys, to think the narcissist has improved. And you've allowed them to convince you of the biggest lie that they tell. So I told you there was a bonus. Here's the bonus. And I just thought about this one. And this is interesting. And I too almost suffered from this. And I'm getting candid with you. I still struggle to some degree because I do think there's a massive problem today with most women that you come across. And it is not the people watching this channel. I'm not talking about you. That said, and why do I say that? I think it's the last days. I think women live in rebellion against men. Not all. Again, it's not all. Please don't take it that way. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And I've seen it over and over again. And this is why I'm telling you this. After dealing with the narcissist and running into other toxic women, you have a tendency, it's very easy to come to demonize the entire other gender and say, well, all men are disgusting or all women are disgusting. They're all 100%, and that's not true. There are plenty of both. But there are still good women in this world. There are still good men in this world. They do exist. But when you suffer what you went through with the narcissist, it's very easy, and especially if you've done this over and over, it's very easy to say, well, they're just all that way. And guys, that impedes your healing too, because you have come to not trust an entire gender. You have come to demonize everybody from that gender. That makes you prisoner in a new way. That makes you not prisoner to the narcissist anymore and that rumination. That makes you a prisoner of another lie, which is that all men are bad or all women are bad. It's not true. And guys, I'm telling you this, maybe I'm just flat out confessing, or, I try to be honest all the time on this channel. And it doesn't, whatever you think of what I'm telling you, you think of it. But I'm telling you, it's tempting for some of us to demonize the entire gender. And that also gets you into a bad place, in a bad headspace. And it's not right, and you're not walking in the truth when you believe that. So that can keep you stuck too. That can really shut your healing down, because you're starting to get into another mindset, another frame that affects you negatively just as bad or worse than the narcissist did. And that slows everything down. So anyway, guys, drop comments below if there are other things you think. And also, I haven't done this for a long time, but I have some really great ideas for videos coming up. But if there are specific things I talk about on here that like really resonate, oh, I love it when he does videos on this, or I love it when you do videos on that, drop the comments below. I'd like to know. So, anyway, guys, still being in contact, expecting the healing to come too fast, um, watching too many videos for too long if you're that kind of person, moving on too quickly, believing the narcissist is doing better, which keeps you stuck in the past, and the bonus, coming to hate the opposite gender. All these things will massively, massively slow your healing down and just keep you or put you in a bad headspace. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Drop comments below, and I will come at you with another one soon. Until then, God bless.